Welcome back everyone. Let's start with the Graphical User Interfaces or GUIs. Up until now, we have designed codes that the user can only interact with through the command line. But as you know, the majority of computer programs and software that we deal with has some form of an interface where humans can easily interact with computers or machines. There's an entire field in computer science and computer engineering called Human-Computer Interface or HCI that covers the details of how computer interfaces should be designed and structured to maximize efficiency and user experience quality. In this class, we will study the basics of how to implement a simple GUI for our codes in Python using the tkinter package, which is Python's default GUI package. The first thing we will do is to create a window using the following line. Creating a window in tkinter will instantiate an object of tkinter's tk class. You will know more about classes and objects in more advanced courses. Once our window is saved, we can set its title using the title function. Let's see how can we add objects to the window. We will start by adding a simple label to be displayed. We can change the background color using the BG parameter and the text or foreground color using the FG parameter. To manage the locations of the objects that we add, such as labels, buttons, and text boxes, we will use the grid function. Here are all the options that we can set for the grid function to specify the exact location of an object. In our example, we set the label to be displayed at column 0. The root.mainLoop is a function that continuously checks for events on our tkinter objects. This function blocks any code execution after it until our tkinter root object is terminated. Let's run our cell and observe the output. Now we will add some padding to make our label clearer. So far so good. We will now add a couple of buttons. The buttons won't have any functionality for now. We will program them to do something in a bit. Now with this code, this is the output that we get. The issue here is that our label is larger than our ping button, and both are in column 0 in this case, and the message button is in column 1. To fix this, we can make our label span 2 columns and fix the size for our ping and message buttons. By adding the column span option to the label and adjusting the padding on both buttons, we were able to make our interface much better. We also added the geometry function at the top to make the size of our initial window bigger for clarity. Then, we locked both width and height of our window using the resizable function and assign false to each of its parameters. We now know how to add labels and buttons and position them within our interface. The next thing that we want to add is a text box to take inputs from the user. For this, there are 2 types of objects we can use, one called entry and the other is text. They both allow for text entry, but entry only allows for a single line input, while text allows for multi-line entry. In this example, we will use the entry option. Perfect! Everything looks to be added correctly. We will now move on to the next video in the class to learn how to program those objects so we can interact with them. See you in the next video.